Hi, everyone. Thank you all so much for having me here. I do want to start with a little disclaimer because my presentation is going to be very happy. Project Fearless is very much a happy space for me, and it is for a lot of kids. But knowing what happened yesterday here in Rotterdam, I do want to tell you all that it's okay if right now this is not the space for you to be in. And if you don't realize it yet, but realize it halfway through the presentation that this is not the vibe that you are feeling today, that's really fine. I don't take any offense in you walking away. And if you want to talk about it, I'm also really fine with cutting my presentation a little bit short or using the Q&A period for it. Or if you don't have any thoughts on what happened yesterday when you woke up this morning, that's really valid too. We all respond to this news very differently. I just wanted to make that clear. Okay, so hello. I'm Sara, and I am the operations manager at Project Fearless, an executive organization for girls and non-binary youth, mostly focusing on ages 9 to 14. And we create programs and events, and as an operations manager, that's what I do. But it's a very small nonprofit still, so I have my toes in a little bit of everything. I think fundraising, partnerships, financing, social media, marketing, all of it. So if you have any questions, I will try to do my best to answer it all. And otherwise, I'll look it up, ask one of our amazing volunteers, and see if I can get you a better answer. But yeah, I've seen, Project Fearless was started by Merda in 2019. And I've seen Merida do 100 of these kind of presentations. And she always starts with explaining her journey and how she started Project Fearless back in 2019. And I, of course, can't speak on behalf of what she experienced, but I do want to give you a little bit of an idea of what it was like for her. And it kind of looked like this. Chaos. So Merida came from a sportswear brand in innovation, decided like this is really not the place for me. I want to be in a space where I can make more impact. So she started going to women's initiatives, get-togethers like this, but also 100 of different kind of get-togethers, started learning about leadership, about community building, about empowering each other, and was super inspired, but also started to realize like, I wish I would have known this when I was a kid, when I was going to enter this phase of having to stand up for myself, of being in these kind of spaces. I wish I would have learned this all the way back then. Based on that, she started looking into just basic statistics here in the Netherlands. And what she saw was that between the ages of 8 and 14, girls' confidence drops by 30%. Next to that, between the ages of 12 to 14, girls' fear of failure increases by 150%. Insane statistics. And these have to do with a million kind of influences and things. A big one being puberty, hormones. Your body is changing. You feel weird in your body. You don't know what your mind is doing. It's going everywhere. It's all over the place. But it's also societal standards. It's what you're taught by your parents, by accident, maybe without them knowing, what you're taught in school, what your relationship is with adults, especially when you start hitting puberty and it starts changing maybe a little bit. It's your relationship with boys, anyone else. And what we see as a consequence is that girls between these ages stop with doing anything aside from school. School starts to be their main focus because you can only do things that you're good at. And if you do it, you need to do it 1,000%. And there is no space for trying new things because what if you might be bad at it? There's no space for trying new things because maybe it's scary. Maybe you feel uncomfortable. Maybe you won't be able to finish. And you see this, it's kind of the chicken or the egg. There are very little programs or sports initiative or creative initiatives that still are able to target this age group, especially girls between these ages. What I was saying is the chicken or the egg. Is it because no girls are in those programs that the programs don't exist, or the programs don't exist and that's why girls are not in there? But looking at my own story, as a very cute young girl just entering puberty, I come from a football family, always played football when I was younger, first with boys. Was perfectly fine. And then puberty started hitting me and my body started to change. And boys started to become scary, but also a bit interesting. And I wasn't allowed to be in the same dressing rooms as the boys anymore, which makes sense. But anyone who has ever done a team sport can probably say the same, that the third half, so after you've actually done the game, is usually more fun than the actual game itself. And I just started feeling very excluded. Didn't want to pass the ball to me anymore. They said mean stuff sometimes. They're young boys as well, it's fine. We've all been there, we've all done it. But it just was really difficult for me to continue to stay in football. Until a girl came up to me and was like, let's start our girls team. And we started gathering our friends. Just had barely enough to make a team out of 7 so we could play half field. Best years of my life. It was so fun to finally be able to, after loving the sport but feeling uncomfortable doing it with people who weren't experiencing the same as me, to finally be able to be in a team where we sucked. We were horrible, but we had so much fun doing it together. And I was very lucky to have this, but I realized that I was very lucky, and I think this is not the case for a lot of girls entering puberty. So, based on our statistics, based on seeing that there are so many initiatives for women, but what about young girls? Based on seeing there's so little for girls starting puberty, so little access to creative and sports programs, Merda had an idea. Knowing what we know now, imagine how we talk to girls if we could start again. And out of that idea came Project Fearless. So Project Fearless is a space for any girl and non-binary or gender fluid kids between the ages of 9 and 14 to be able to use their hands, create, move, play, be together and have a safe community. Another disclaimer. Throughout this presentation, I will be saying girls or kids a lot. And increasingly in our program started very much 4 or 5 years ago as a place for girls. But we started because of the way we conduct our programs and being a place for everyone and being the safe space where kids can discover who they are. More and more kids started to join who are thinking about their gender identity. So we have more and more kids who use pronouns that are maybe not he, her, or he, him, but anywhere in between, around whatever. So I might say girls, but then I actually mean anyone who can identify with the girl experience. I might say kids, but then I mean the same, anyone who can identify with the girl experience. Such a mouthful, so sometimes I just shorten it, but that's a bit clear. Yeah, and we're a space where you can just try. So you don't have to be good at it, just give it a go. And be in a space where we build each other up and cheer each other on. So we do programs and events, basically. And our courses can be divided in 3 categories, 3 teams. So we have our makerspace. These are programs and events where kids can use their hands and build and create something together. So one of my favorites is Artivism. It's a place where we combine art with activism and climate science. So it's a program where kids are encouraged to look around them, see nature, think about what they're seeing, build an opinion, and then use their voice, even as a 9-year-old, to speak up about it and create art or create something anyhow they want to express themselves to be able to speak up. We have our Mind and Movement Lab, which is or movement-based courses, so sports, skateboarding, bouldering, kickboxing, football. All these courses are mostly we focus on places where girls and kids don't have access to yet in that age. So you wouldn't very quickly see us doing a dance program, just because this is something that is more easily accessible to girls. But you do see us doing skateboarding, which is where you mostly see boys, but it's an amazing sport and so many girls love it as well. And then we have our community and leadership, which our biggest one is our teen role model program. So after a few years, we noticed that our 14-year-olds didn't want to go. and wanted to stay on. And we were also like, we can't lose these 14-year-olds because 15 to 18 is also a very difficult age to keep girls in programs and events. So we built our teen role model program where we encourage those 15-year-olds to stay on, but then enter a leadership program where they get to assist the coaches in the programs, get to form the bridge between young participant and coach, and just get to continue moving and playing and being in our community. The fun thing about having all these different kind of courses running at the same time, since we work in seasons of 8 weeks each, is that a kid might join Project Fearless thinking they're a very artsy girl, so they join artivism or they join sewing. But after being able to experience Project Fearless, they might feel comfortable enough to step a little bit outside of their comfort zone and try maybe a movement-based program. Or and then if football is something they're used to, then they might go with skateboarding the next time. So this is one of our ways. We'll dive deeper into this, but it's how we can encourage those girls and kids to continue trying new things. So who joins our programming? We are a place for anyone with any background. And because we do our programs in both Dutch and English, kind of depending on the area where we're working in, but mostly it's Dutch and English. We have expats, we have Dutch nationals, we have people with different migrant backgrounds, we have people, we have refugees. We saw, for example, during the Ukrainian war that we got a lot of Ukrainian family joining our programs, and we serve, well, anyone who can identify with the female experience between 9 to 18. And we are in Amsterdam and in Rotterdam right now. Since 2022, we also moved to Rotterdam. And these are our pillars. So this is what every program and event is built on, from kickboxing to sewing. This is what we can see in every one of our programs. The first one is accessible role models. Here Merida always tells this cute story about, in one of our programs, she asked the girls, who are your role models? And a girl was thinking, didn't know, and a mom from across the hallway screamed, Michelle Obama! And this girl said, well, Michelle Obama is great, but I'm never going to meet Michelle Obama. And that's when it clicked for Merida. Like, role models on TV, beautiful, amazing, we need them, 100%. But meeting them, being able to talk to them, being able to see them on their good days and on their bad days, makes such more of an influence to these kids. Seeing that a woman who is in IT during the day can help you on the ramp during one of the programs shows way more on what is out there, and that you can keep searching for what is your place and can try new things. The second pillar is playful, not perfect. So at Project Fearless, we do not achieve. So you're not gonna find the best kickboxer at our place. Not even close a lot of the times, because that's just not what we're into. If a group of girls are not really keen on doing their kicks, we can try something else. It's really about encouraging them to just move, to just be, to just do. And there are no predefined outcomes. So if in Artivism, we were thinking of doing a end of showcase, which was gonna be like a video or documentary, but all the kids were like, no, it's gonna be a theater show, let's go. Then that's what we're gonna do. And the third pillar is that Project Fearless is a space to be yourself. So they don't have to be anyone who they do not want to be. They can redefine who they are when they are with us. Part of that is, for example, that we always ask their pronouns, because we know a lot of the kids that we work with change pronouns. Project Fearless is a space where they can practice using their pronouns, even if they might in their school or in their family do not yet feel that that is allowed or possible for them. So I'm going to dive a little bit deeper into those pillars. A very cute sign of this is our run club. We do Fearless 5K. This is an outcome after a program that we try to get these girls to do a Fearless 5K, but it's okay if they don't want to. And they build signs so they can encourage each other on as they are running the 5 kilometers. Okay, so our coaches, the accessible role models. We kind of live with the phrase of see them, be them, which is what I was talking to. If you don't see someone looking like you being a football player, how will you ever think that you could do it? Accessible role models help to see what is possible, but also to be able to have a reliable confidence. We always make sure that in every community we're at, that we have representation there. So because every area of Rotterdam, every area of Amsterdam looks different. And we want to make kids feel that they're part of this empowered community, that we're all supporting each other, and also that they start seeing themselves as role models. So we also work a lot on, okay, so do you see those younger kids standing at the sidelines wanting to join, but are actually looking at their brothers playing on the other field? Well, you are all showing them that it's really cool to play football and that they can maybe do it as well at some point. Yeah, so our coaches are basically everything that Project Fearless is and everything that we need from Project Fearless. Very proud of them. Quick notes of support. We always do this in our programs. It's a moment anywhere in the 8 weeks that we get kids to sign something anonymously on a little to-do note, and we pass them out randomly so girls have something to look back on when they're not at our space, but to know that there's still this space out there for them. The second pillar was doing, not achieving, so exploring without limits, getting rid of the perfectionist mindset. That's not what we're here for. Thinking back on that statistics on fear of failure, incredibly important to get rid of everything have to be perfect. No, you just have to have fun. Project Fearless is just to have fun. It's where we are okay, where we encourage each other to fail, because it's part of it. You need to fall to be able to learn to do that ollie on a skateboard. But we want to switch that mindset, and that's something you need to practice. That a growth mindset you continuously need to practice. And if you don't play, or if you don't work in a team, or if you don't play sports, you stop practicing that important place of, okay, how can I continue? How can I motivate myself to keep continuing even though it's not really working out? So that's what we're here for. Cute pictures. And then the third one is come as you are, so safe space for everyone. We are a space where we're a community. You can just show up and we cheer each other on. We learn that it's okay that maybe the first week you were the leader and maybe the second week you were, and it might look really differently, but it's both as valuable. And maybe 1 week you get a compliment, but then the other week you get a compliment. But it doesn't mean that my spotlight shines any less because yours is given attention to in that moment. Hope that makes sense. It's about showing that success, that we can all be successful at the same time. Kind of trying to get rid of this queen bee mindset. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah. So a little bit of a flex on what we're doing. Just a quick show of statistics that I'm quite proud of. We've already had, since our launch, 120 programs, almost 1,400 girls and kids joining us, increasing amount of scholarship that we are able to provide. So some courses in some areas are completely for free. In other areas, we're always looking for funding to make it as free as possible. But even in those programs, we always make sure that for everyone, no questions asked, we have scholarships available. So they can still feel like they will be able to join, knowing that, of course, still having to click on I want a scholarship is already a barrier. So we're working on that, on also getting those programs to go way less or free. We have a film out, amazing. And we have role models, already almost 50, and a bunch of kids at our events. So then I wanted to link our organization, Project Fearless, to simplicity. Was thinking about this for a while. Really didn't know how to, was discussing it with colleagues, like in what ways Project Fearless simple? No, what was the definition again? Not complicated. And this is, what we came up with. It's really not. There is nothing simple about our branding. We have bold colors, we have stickers, we have we want to be seen, we're out there. There's nothing simple about girls and kids going into puberty. Don't ever tell a girl that the fight she's having with that one person through this other person is very actually simple and they just need to say sorry. Nothing simple about puberty. Yeah, so how can I link Project Fearless to simplicity? Well, if we really go back to the basics, if we really go to get all the colors off, all those heavy emotions and whatever we're all feeling, take that away. At its core, Project Fearless is a place for everyone, including kids and coaches and employees, I feel it every day too, to be yourself. A safe space to be able to be yourself. So this is, we always do, of course, reporting. We have to show our impact. One question we asked is, what is your favorite thing about Project Fearless? The thing that was most said is that it's a place where I can be myself. It's people are awesome and empowering, and let me be myself. And no one will judge me for who I am. People are here to support me. Very proud of this, because this is what we do, this is what we are, whether you're in sports, whether you're in arts, whether you don't know yet, whether you're identified as a girl, whether you don't, whether you have a religious background, financial difficulties at home, it's all okay. You can all show it when you're at Project Fearless. So here, a little bit more about that, just a bit of statistics here you see again, who strongly agrees or somewhat agrees with Project Fearless being a space where you can be yourself. We had it researched as well, just to be sure that we were doing what we are supposed to be doing, that because kids usually only join us for 2 hours a week. And then maybe that's a space where they can be themselves, but what about the other so many hours that are in the week? And Marieke Bos, she researched and she said that even only feeling like there's a safe space for you for only one afternoon a week already gives kids so much resilience, because they know that wherever they are, even though it's not a great space to be, even though they do not feel like they can be themselves, they know that somewhere out there is a space where they can show up as who they are. Yeah, so very proud of that, of course. I wanted to share. Well, and now we're all here, and I'll see all these beautiful people, and I'm like, so what can you all do to help? Because we always do need a little bit of help. No pressure, of course. It's all about fun. We'll see that in the next slide. It's all about fun. So, have you ever wanted to coach? We have amazing volunteers who are coaching our programs, who are accessible role models, who the kids can see themselves in. Which means everything, which means you can be a woman in STEM, which means you can be a woman of color, which means you identify as non-binary, as gender fluid, etc. There is someone who needs to see you do what you do. Well, if you're keen on ever coaching, hit me up. But also maybe if you don't have the time, which is very fair, do you have connections that might be interesting? We are starting here in Rotterdam already a year now. We're growing and growing, and we'd love to meet more cool initiatives or interesting people in the municipality, people with money maybe, I don't know, or just anything you can think of, cool collaborations, let me know. And help spreading the word, spreading that we're here. To others that might be interested in volunteering or that might be interested in giving us some clout, to parents that have kids around our ages. Yeah, so here's a little, if you want to apply this QR code, if you want to donate, also fine, no pressure, that's the QR code. But yeah, be your cheerleader. Follow us, Instagram, LinkedIn, go to our website where you can read more about us. Yeah, take your pictures, people. Yeah, for sure. Always. We can be here forever if you need to. Oh, that's amazing. I will work on that. We can share it later, maybe. Yeah, or just look up us up on the website and you'll find everything you need. Maybe you just maybe you're just fascinated by what I was saying and want to read more up on it. These are books that we always recommend. I think Quiet is a really good one. The fact that I'm standing here maybe already shows a little bit that I'm uncomfortable, a bit extroverted, and it's easy to see people like me in leadership positions. But there are so many more ways how you can be a leader. There's so much beautiful introverted leadership that's oftentimes overlooked. And it's something that we're working on in our programs constantly to even get girls that might be a bit more shy to show them, no, you are a leader as well. It just might look differently. And this is what Quiet is about. It's about those beautiful introverted leadership and showing that there's so much more than those screaming extroverted people on the front lines. Another beautiful one is Invisible Women. It's if your brain works better with needing the statistics to see things. This is really, it shows you all the research and the statistics on why what Project Fearless is doing is needed, but in general, why women initiatives and initiative for people that experience what girls and women are experiencing is important. But yeah, no pressure. If you want to leave just thinking this is a very nice, you just had like your breakfast and you just got to meet new people and heard a little bit about Project Fearless, that's good too. It's all about having fun. That's what Project Fearless is. And I hope I was able to give that a little bit to you as well. And now all we have to do is go and be fearless. So in whatever way that looks for you, if that means buying those shoes that are just a bit too orange or pink or whatever color that you might not feel comfortable with, do it. Or if it's going for that new promotion at work or small things like, I don't know, cutting your hair, let's go. I'm now realizing I'm saying quite superficial things, but there are 100 ways to be fearless. Just the first, I've been thinking about cutting my hair, so that's why. And yeah, if you ever want to contact me or the founder and director, Mirjam, these are our contact informations. And yeah, if you have any questions, anything you want to say, yeah, you're more than welcome to. Yeah, I'm done.